I'd given up on people being honest about 3 years ago, right around the time my bike got stolen outside the grocery store. It was a Tuesday morning. Bread and milk, 5 minutes inside. I came out to find my lock cut clean through and my dad's old Schwinn gone. That was the day something shifted in me, something closed. My name's David Carpenter, and I manage a small bookstore in Asheville, North Carolina. The floor creaks. A cat named Fitzgerald naps on the mystery shelf like a guard. The shop sits on Main Street, squeezed between a Thai restaurant and a vintage clothing store, holding its ground while the city changes around it. That Thursday started like any other. Coffee at 7 from the machine in my apartment, the expensive one I bought to replace cafe trips after my divorce. Open the store at 9. The lights take 3 minutes to warm up. I check Fitzgerald's water. Mrs. Delacroix was already waiting outside, tapping her cane against the window. "Morning, David," she called through the glass. "Is my book in yet?" Mrs. Delacroix had been coming to the store longer than I'd been running it. Every Thursday, rain or shine, she hunted for romance novels she hadn't read yet. After 40 years of reading, that was getting harder to find. "Let me check the back," I told her, though I already knew we'd gotten a shipment. I always saved the newest romances for her, tucked behind the counter with a sticky note. Small things like that used to come easy. These days, I had to remind myself to do them. The morning crowd picked up around 10. December in Asheville meant tourists looking for unique gifts and locals trying to avoid the chain stores. I rang up journals and calendars, recommended poetry for people who don't usually read poetry, and stopped Fitzgerald from sleeping on a customer's purse, twice. The lunch rush hit around noon. Holiday shoppers wore that tired, worried look. I was ringing up a stack of cookbooks for a woman who kept changing her mind about wrapping paper when my phone buzzed hard in my pocket. My sister Rachel again. Christmas plans. We'd had the same conversation for 3 weeks. Would I come to Charlotte? Could I bring something besides my usual frozen pie? Did I remember that her kids were vegetarian now? I pulled out my phone, trying to text one-handed while the woman debated between silver and gold ribbon. "Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll cook something real. Tell the kids I'm bringing books." That's when it must have happened. My wallet must have caught on my phone and slipped free without me noticing. In that moment, I was just trying to make change and answer Rachel and smile at a customer all at once. We juggle too much. Then we drop something. It was Mrs. Howard who made me realize. She's a sweet regular who comes in every week for a granddaughter's birthday. Different granddaughter each time. She has 7 and calls that a personal blessing. Today she was buying Penguins Don't Wear Sweaters, a picture book that makes her laugh every time she reads it aloud. She handed me a crisp 20, and I reached for my back pocket. I keep small bills there to refill the register. My hand found only fabric, worn soft from habit. I checked my other pockets. Nothing. Front pockets, shirt pocket, even the tiny coin pocket nobody uses. My chest got tight, that special tightness that comes with losing something important. Not just the $60 cash, 320s from the ATM, my small emergency fund, but my license, credit cards, and the photo of my dad from before he got sick. He's laughing at something off camera, probably one of my mom's jokes. Everything. "Oh, honey," Mrs. Howard said as I patted my pockets a third time. Her voice was soft, like a grandma's. It made me want to tell the truth. "When did you last have it?" I tried to retrace my steps. Coffee that morning? No, I'd paid with my phone. New budget rules. Gas station last night? Maybe, but I remember sliding the wallet back into my pocket. I probably dropped it at noon when I texted Rachel. I wasn't sure, but it felt likely. Mrs. Howard left her 20 on the counter and patted my hand with fingers like tissue paper and steel. "It'll turn up," she said, but we both knew better. This was downtown Asheville in December. Busy streets, crowded sidewalks, everyone lost in their own holiday rush. My wallet was probably already in a trash can somewhere, stripped of cash and cards, my dad's photo crumpled and forgotten. I spent lunch in the back office with the door closed so customers couldn't hear me fight phone trees. I canceled both credit cards, the one I use and the emergency one. I made a DMV appointment for Monday, the earliest they had. I called the bank about my debit card and sat on hold for 23 minutes while tinny Christmas music made my jaw clench. Each call felt like giving up. The woman at the credit card company tried to lift my mood. You'd be surprised how often people return wallets, she said, professional and bright. Just last week, my neighbor found one and drove 20 miles to return it. I wanted to tell her about my bike, how I saved for 2 years after Dad died because riding it made me feel close to him. About the package that got stolen from my porch. Mom's birthday gift, irreplaceable. About how I'd stopped believing in that kind of luck. But I just said thanks and hung up. The afternoon dragged like it was walking through mud. Every time the shop door chimed, part of me hoped someone would walk in holding my worn brown leather wallet. I'd bought it at a craft fair with Sarah back when we were still trying to make things work. No one did. Just regulars and a few tourists who took pictures of Fitzgerald without buying anything, cooing like he was an exhibit, not a cranky 12-year-old cat who mostly likes me. By 5:30, panic had softened into a quiet, sad acceptance. These things happen. Life goes on. I'd get new cards, a new license, and find another picture of Dad somewhere in the boxes I still hadn't unpacked after the divorce. Maybe it was time anyway. The leather was cracked at the fold, and one corner was held together with super glue. I flipped the sign to closed at 6, earlier than usual, but I couldn't face another customer. I started counting down the register, sorting bills, filling out the deposit slip for tomorrow. My hands did the routine. My mind did the math. $40 for gas to get to Charlotte, $15 for the DMV, whatever the bank would charge to rush a new card. That's when I saw her through the window, a woman studying the store hours like they might change if she stared long enough. Maybe 70. A purple coat that had seen better decades, pieced together like a quilt, yellow rain boots with cartoon ducks even though it hadn't rained in a week. She knocked, 3 careful taps. The lights were dimmed, the sign said closed, and still, she knocked like she had a good reason. I almost ignored her. It had been a long day that felt like a long week. I wanted to go home, heat up old pizza, and figure out how to buy gas without a card. My back hurt from the register. My eyes hurt from smiling when I didn't feel like it. But the way she knocked, polite but firm, made me walk to the door. Maybe it was the purple coat. Nobody wears a coat like that without stories. "We're closed," I said through the glass, not unkind but not inviting. She held up something brown. My wallet. The corner with the superglue caught the streetlight. I fumbled the lock and almost dropped my keys. Cold December air rushed in, carrying the smell of coming snow and roasted chestnuts from the corner stand. She smiled, deep lines folding around her eyes. Her smile made the air feel warmer. "This yours?" she asked, calm and gentle. How did you? I took the wallet, heavier than I remembered, and flipped it open with shaking hands. Everything was there, my license with the mid-blink photo, my cards in their usual order, even the cash, 3 crisp 20s, and my dad's photo tucked behind my library card. "Found it on Patton Avenue," she said, shifting in those duck boots. "By the big blue mailbox, near the coffee shop that used to be a bank." Patton Avenue is 6 blocks away. She had walked those blocks in rain boots through the evening crowd to return a wallet to a stranger. The coffee shop closes at 5. She'd been carrying it for at least an hour. "Your store card was in there," she added, pointing to the business card in the front pocket. "Carpenter's books. I know this place. Bought my daughter a book here once a long time ago, so I brought it by." "The cash is all there. Thank you," I said. "I wish I could give you something for your trouble. May I?" She looked at me like I'd suggested she kick Fitzgerald, hurt and amused. "Of course not. It isn't mine." "Then let me, please. A book, coffee, something?" She tilted her head, thinking. I noticed her earrings didn't match. 1 silver star, 1 gold moon. "You know what? There is something." I waited, ready to give her half the store. "I'm trying to remember the name of a book," she said, pulling her coat tighter. "I read it maybe 40 years ago. Checked it out so many times the librarian told me to buy it, but I never did. Blue cover with a lighthouse. A woman inherits a lighthouse from an aunt she didn't know. There might be a ghost or a cat. Do you know it?" I did. The Keeper's Daughter by Miranda Holbrook. Out of print for decades, but I had a used copy in the back waiting to be shelved. I'd bought it in a big estate sale lot and hadn't priced it yet. "Wait here," I said, and jogged to the back. 3rd shelf. Blue faded almost gray. Beach House 1982 written in pencil on the inside cover. Binding good. pages clean, her face when she saw it, like a sunrise. She held the book with both hands, ran her fingers over the art, and lifted it to smell the paper, the way real book lovers do. "That's it," she said, clutching it like a missing piece. "I can't believe you have it. How much?" "Nothing," I said. "Please, it's the least I can do." She started to argue, then stopped. Maybe she saw the look on my face, that mix of relief and gratitude. "Well then," she said, "I suppose we're even." We weren't. She had saved me hours of hassle and returned things I couldn't replace. She had walked 6 blocks in duck boots in December to do it, but I just nodded. Saying more would have embarrassed us both. "I should tell you something," she said, sliding the book into a faded tote that read "World's Best Grandma." This wasn't random. I must have looked confused because she kept going, like she was settling in to tell a bedtime story. I was having a terrible day. The kind that makes you wonder what the point is. You know those days? I nodded. "My daughter lives in Seattle. We haven't seen each other in 2 years. We fought about, well, it doesn't matter, something small that grew teeth because we fed it." She smoothed her coat. Each patch was carefully stitched, the work of someone who knows how to make things last. "Today is her birthday. Emma. She's 43. I haven't said happy birthday in 2 years because we're both too stubborn to call first." The store felt very quiet. Even the fluorescent hum seemed to pause. "I was walking and feeling sorry for myself when I saw your wallet on the sidewalk, brown leather, sitting there alone. My first thought was to leave it. Not my problem. Let someone else deal with it. Or don't, and maybe you'd learn to be more careful." She laughed without humor. That's who I'd become. Someone who would leave a wallet to teach a stranger a lesson. But I picked it up. Maybe my hands were cold. Maybe my heart was. I opened it, not to take anything, she added quickly. Just to find a way to return it. I saw the photo you carry. Your father? I nodded, my throat tight. He looks kind, she said. That smile reaches his whole face. It reminded me that everyone carries someone they love, someone they would miss. I thought about Emma. All the birthdays I missed, all the photos we don't have. She pulled out an old flip phone and showed me the screen. One missed call. She called while I was walking here, she said. First time in 2 years. I almost missed it because I was focused on finding your store, but I saw it. And after I leave here, after I do this one good thing, I'm going to call her back. I thought about all the times I'd walked past dropped things and figured someone else would handle it. The tiny chances to help that I ignored because I was busy or tired or sure people weren't worth the effort. I thought about Rachel's texts and how I treated them like chores instead of connection. It wasn't small, I said. What you did? Not to me. She smiled again, eyes crinkling. She had probably been beautiful when she was young. Now she was beautiful in a different way. Good, she said. Then we both had a better day. You got your wallet. I remembered what it feels like to do the right thing. And Emma? Well, we'll see. She turned to go, then paused with her hand on the door. That book, The Lighthouse Story. Does she find what she's looking for? I remembered it. A woman searching for purpose, finding it in a steady light that guides ships home through storms, learning that sometimes being still and shining is a kind of journey. Yes, I said. She does. It takes a while, but she finds it. Good, she said, and I knew she wasn't just talking about the book. I like to know how things turn out. It gives me hope for the rest of us. After she left, I stood in the empty shop, holding my wallet like it might break. Everything was exactly where I'd left it, yet it felt different, heavier with meaning. Or maybe I was the one who felt different, lighter, as if I'd been carrying rocks in my pockets and someone had quietly removed them. I called Rachel back, not a text, a real call. David? She sounded surprised. Everything okay? Everything's fine, I said. I wanted to hear your voice and tell you I'll bring a real pie, from scratch, Mom's recipe if I can find it. She paused. Are you sure you're okay? You sound different. I'm good, I said. And for the first time in 3 years, I meant it. A stranger returned my wallet today. She walked 6 blocks to do it. That's amazing. See? There are still good people. Yeah, I said, looking at Dad's photo. There are. The next day, I made a decision. I would start small. When Mr. Chen from the restaurant next door dropped his keys, I ran after him, my breath clouding in the cold. When a tourist looked lost and kept spinning with their phone, I offered directions and walked them to the corner. When a kid counted pennies for a book he couldn't quite afford, I told him we were having a special sale, just for today, just for him. His face lit up like Christmas morning. Really? Really, I said. But don't tell everyone. It's a secret sale. He left clutching his book like treasure, and I thought about the woman in purple and doing the right thing simply because it's right. That was 5 years ago. I never saw her again. I don't know if she called Emma, or if they worked things out, or if birthday cards now fly between Asheville and Seattle. I never even learned her name. But I think about her more than she would guess, especially on heavy days. The bookstore is different now. We keep a lost and found box by the door, and I try to return items every week. 3 wallets this year, 2 phones, countless scarves and gloves, and once a hearing aid that made a grandmother cry at my counter. There was also a leather journal full of poems. I spent 2 days finding the owner because words that personal shouldn't be lost. I walk found items back when I can, and I post online when I can't. I made a Facebook page just for Lost and Found in downtown Asheville. People started calling the store The Honest Shop, which makes me laugh. As if simple decency needs a special label. Maybe it does. There's a map on the wall behind the register. Pins mark all the places items came from or went to. Red for wallets, blue for phones, green for everything else. The map looks like Christmas lights, lines across the city and into other states. Each pin is a story. A bad day turned better, a little faith restored. Here's what I've learned. The lesson the purple coat woman taught me without meaning to. We all walk around with losses and hopes, stubbornness and secret kindness. Most people are good, given the chance. They just need to remember what it feels like. A small inconvenience for one person, 6 blocks in uncomfortable boots, can be everything to someone else. Last month, a college student rushed in, almost in tears, breathing hard like she'd been running. She'd lost her backpack with her laptop, notes for finals, her wallet, her whole life it felt like. She said she'd checked every store on the block, no luck. "I know it's gone," she said, trying not to cry. "I just thought, maybe—" I hadn't seen it either, but I took her number and asked for details. Black with purple straps, a band sticker, a cat keychain. The kind of details that make a thing real. After she left, I widened my usual walk and checked alleys and doorways. I found it the next morning behind our dumpster. Someone took the $40 from her wallet but left everything else: laptop, notes, student ID. The bag was damp with dew, but the contents were fine. She cried when I called, big, hiccuping sobs that made me hold the phone away. She kept saying thank you, like I'd worked a miracle, not just walked 1 extra block and looked where people forget to look. When she came to pick it up, she tried to hand me a crisp 50. "My mom sent this," she said. "She says there has to be a reward." "An old friend taught me that a good walk can change a day," I told her. She looked puzzled, but I smiled. Some stories don't need explaining. They need repeating, one small act at a time. Like a lighthouse, steady and reliable, there when you need it. My dad's photo still rides behind my library card. The edges are soft now, and one corner is bent from the time I dropped the wallet and stepped on it. Sometimes I take it out and remember that December day when I thought I'd lost it for good. I remember the woman who chose to care about a stranger's father she would never meet. I added a note to my wallet too, written on a receipt in my best handwriting. "If found, please return to Carpenter's Books on Main Street. Reward offered, but not required. Just knowing there are good people is enough. P.S. Ask about the purple coat lady. It's a good story." Because here's what she taught me. We all carry private grief and small sparks of hope. The space between losing faith and finding it again is sometimes just 6 blocks and one person who decides to walk them. One person who picks up what was dropped and thinks, someone will miss this. Rachel and I are closer now. I visit Charlotte once a month. I cook real food and read to her kids. They're not vegetarian anymore. That lasted about 6 months. But I bring books anyway. Always books. Sometimes I tell them about the purple coat lady and how one small kindness ripples out farther than you can see. The store is about to open. It's 7 a.m., December again, 5 years later, almost to the day. Fitzgerald has claimed his spot on the mysteries, older now, but still ruling his kingdom. Mrs. Delacroix will be in soon for her weekly romance. She's 93, still walking, still reading about love. Normal Thursday stuff. I check the lost and found first, like a small promise. Today there's a single glove, child-sized, rainbow stripes, and a set of car keys with a rubber duck keychain. Someone will be looking for those. Someone's morning will get better when they find them waiting. On the wall, the map has grown. Pins reach out like constellations, each a small star of connection. A businessman's wallet returned with $800. A grandmother's glasses found and delivered. A child's stuffed elephant reunited after a frantic search. Stories stacking up, quiet and steady. It's a small thing, returning a glove. Smaller than a wallet, smaller than walking 6 blocks in stiff boots. But small things add up. Stack enough of them together, and they start to look like hope. Like community. Like the world we say we want. Built one returned wallet, one call to Emma, one act of faith at a time. The door chimes. First customer of the day. A man I don't recognize, worried face, hands patting pockets in that dance of the newly lost. Morning, I say. Lose something? Relief washes over him. My keys. I had them yesterday, but I hold up the duck keychain and watch his face change. These? Where did... Someone turn them in, I say. People do that here. They just need a nudge and a chance. He takes the keys like they're made of gold and tries to hand me a 20. I wave it off. Just pass it on, I say. Next time you find something, return it. He leaves smiling, and I think about the woman in purple, about Emma in Seattle, and about all the reconciliations that begin when someone chooses to pick up what's been dropped. The door chimes again. Mrs. Delacroix, right on time, already talking about the book she finished and how the hero reminded her of her late husband. Time to open the register, brew the coffee, and see what small miracles Thursday holds. But first, I pat my back pocket. The wallet is there, same as always. Dad's photo is safe behind the library card, his laugh reminding me that people are mostly good, that faith lost can be found, and that sometimes angels wear purple coats and duck boots. Ready for another day of paying attention, of being the person who picks things up, of walking the extra blocks, of believing in the small missions that save us all. Ready to pass it on! The door chimes again. December in Asheville. Cold, bright, full of possibilities. Fitzgerald stretches, yawns, and settles back into his mysteries. Mrs. Delacroix talks with her hands. And somewhere in Seattle, I hope, a mother and daughter are planning Christmas together, tied by the small thread of one returned wallet, one remembered kindness, one woman who decided that a stranger's lost thing mattered. That's the secret, really. It all matters. Every wallet, every glove, every chance to be the person someone needs. The woman in the purple coat knew that. And now, if you're hearing this story, you know it too. The question is, what you'll do with it. The world is waiting for your answer, one small kindness at a time.